Hey Strong Siders, today we're going to look at some postural work, some things you can do to prep your shoulder blades so they move a little better, and then we'll try to get them to sit in a little bit better position so your posture looks better throughout the day. So I'm going to start off with just exploring the range of motion of my shoulder. Unweighted, just rolling my shoulder around, looking for any tight spots. As I'm rolling all the way around my full range of motion, if I find anything skippy or sticky, I might actually stick around that area and just move in that small range of motion a little bit just to free it up if I can. Then I'm going to do some waves here, so this is going to call it a W wave. I'm really just squeezing my shoulder blades tight while pulling my arms back, getting a bit of an active stretch through my chest as well. Now that I'm done getting some just passive range of motion just with my own body weight, I'm going to add a band into it. I'm going to do something called passovers or dislocates. I'm going to pass the band up and over my head, really trying to clear open that front part of my shoulder. As I'm doing this motion, I'm not trying to keep my shoulder blades still in one spot. I'm sliding them up towards my ears as I go overhead. They're projected with the bands in front. I'm retracting them as the band goes back. What I want to do is just get everything nice and prepped under a little bit of load, and then I'm going to load it up a little bit more. So I'm going to do some band retractions, pulling my shoulder blades together, getting my arms pulled nice and back without arching my lower back. I'm also going to take this overhead, go through this range of motion, letting the band pull my arms up passively, and then I'll actively pull down to get my lats turned on. So I still feel a little bit of tension here in the front of my shoulders, so I'm going to get onto the rings here and I'm just going to do some loaded stretching, just kind of open it up a little bit. I'm going to move my arms around a fair bit. I don't want to hang out in any one position too much. Once I feel like I've got a little bit more range of motion, feel like my shoulder blades are coming right back, I don't feel any bony blocks because my shoulder blades are sitting in the wrong position, I'm going to move on and I'm actually going to get into my exercises. So just a couple positions there to feel it out. Once I'm done going through a couple different positions overhead, out to the sides, I'm going to actually get on the ground and we're going to start off with these W flies from the ground. So I like to keep my core nice and tight so I don't arch through my lower back. I'm trying to pull my forearms off nice and evenly, not letting the elbows tip up into the air. Retracting my shoulder blades tight together first and then pulling my arms, and also making sure they stay down. I kind of want to feel some tension kind of squeezing right between the bottom of my scapula. I'm going to do this for anywhere from 10 to 20 reps, whatever makes you feel fatigued in that mid back. Next I'm going to work with some projections and some retractions. You can do this unilaterally as well if you find it's a little bit more challenging for you to focus on just one arm at a time. But I want to get my serratus anterior pulling my fist forward as much as possible and then get those rhomboids really retracting. Sometimes we do this in a high plank position. The problem is a lot of times you just drop between your shoulders instead of actually actively pulling your shoulder blades back together. We can also load this up with the band where you start getting a good active pull through the rhomboids and the mid traps. And then you're going to get a passive pull through that serratus anterior with the band. You can always do this in stages too, where you retract, followed by a row, getting a little bit more action in that movement to get those shoulder blades tight together. If you got access to a cable machine, we can load this up even more. Your rhomboids mid-traps are going to be very strong, so you may need a little bit more weight than just the band. So I'm going to retract my shoulder blades, squeezing them tight together. I can even add in a row where I'll pull my shoulder blades back, followed by doing the row. When I return, I let my arms go, then I let my shoulder blades go, so I can repeat the whole process. It's almost like doing two separate moves at once. If we look at it from the back here, you'll see that I squeeze the words together, let them stretch right open, really retracting those shoulder blades and trying to get to that good posture position that's going to keep my chest up and shoulders back all day long. Alright Strong Siders, there's some postural work for you. Make sure you open up the shoulders, then get at retracting your shoulder blades nice and back so that you have better posture throughout all your days. Have a good one.